Christmas from Santa Claus and from the City Commission, so thank you for being here tonight. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Today is, what is it? December 11th. Sorry about that. Today's a regular City Commission meeting, and then today is December the 11th. If I could get a roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Mercer?
Here.
Commissioner Yates?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Birdsong? And Mayor Dantzler.
Here. Okay. Our invocation tonight will be led by Dr. Steve Nagley from First Presbyterian Church. Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Vanessa Castillo, our city clerk. Where's the flag? So we can all, we'll have a digital flag. Picture one in your mind. So please stand to fable.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. God in prayer. Wonderful God, as we reach the end of another year, we give you thanks for how you blessed our community. We thank you for our dedicated city employees and staff and how they make Winter Haven a safe, enjoyable place to live. We thank you for our elected officials who have governed wisely. We thank you for our neighbors and concerned citizens who've added to our quality of life together. We ask you to bless this meeting, bless these commissioners, and bless the plans for another year to enjoy this corner of your creation as our own. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nagley. Okay, we have 4 presentations tonight. First is going to be the International City Managers Association Recognition Award. I'm going to turn it over to our City Manager, T. Michael.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to ask Adi Javed to come forward. He is with the Florida City County Management Association, and I think, do you want us to show the video before you speak, or? Okay, so we have a short video that the FCCMA and ICMA have presented recognizing City Council manager form of government.
There are things we rarely think about. Little morning rituals. A light to find our way through the dark. A bike trail just down the road. An easy commute. Having a great place to work. But all across America, there are people thinking about those details every day. Crafting plans and making the decisions that transform good communities into great ones. They're our professional city and county managers. They know that characteristics like civic engagement, quality housing, vibrant neighborhoods, and solid infrastructure allow business to thrive. In fact, nearly 2/3 of Moody's AAA bond-rated cities are run by a professional manager. From exciting development projects, to curbside recycling programs, to the water for your shower. City and county managers are responsible for the things that help communities thrive. They make tomorrow happen, partnering with elected officials to turn big policy ideas into great achievements.
The relationship between a commissioner and a county administrator is vitally important. It provides a partnership that translates policy into action and dreams into reality. After all, every coach needs a quarterback.
The strong partnership between the Commission, the Administrator, and staff in our county has been essential in making Flagler County what it is today. These relationships give us, as elected officials, the ability to more effectively serve our community.
Using a professional manager can help keep the city out of financial trouble. They have a long-term outlook and know how to avoid kicking the can down the road. They have the knowledge and the skills on the table that elected officials usually do not have.
The elected officials are accountable to the voters, and the professional manager is accountable to the commission. This balance of shared responsibility and responsiveness to community needs is a prescription for good government.
While most of us are busy running our lives, professional managers run the communities where we live our lives. So we can all have a place that we're proud to call home. Professional city, town, and county management. It's life well run.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Ali Jalali, and I'm here on behalf of FCCMA for the City and County Management Association. And it's my privilege to present to you the certificate from ICMA, which is the International City and County Managers Association, for the council manager form of government. It's been almost 100 years for you guys, so it's a big milestone. So congratulations for that. And I would like to basically specifically thank all the elected officials for your support for having a council manager form of government. It helps keep the administrative duties separate from the legislative duties, and it's again the initiative taken by FCCMA to raise awareness among stakeholders that how critical this type of administration is. So without further ado, without information, I would like to present this to Team Michael and the mayor.
All right, we're going to go straight into the next presentation. City University. So Mayor and Commissioners, as you know, you supported this initiative that we began the first class last year. I'm very proud to tonight present to you CU Class 2 for graduation. Real quick, before we pull them up, quick recap of what we went through with them. First session, how we get here, recap on our history and who we are overall as a city. Growth and all that comes with it, talking about planning and traffic management and things of that nature, living your best life with the Parks and Rec, community safety, what's it like on the inside with our human resources team, big dreams for our future, looking at things like One Water and work faster planning and all the data that we use for decision making, and keeping the curtain pulled back with our city attorney's office and clerk's office and finance. So we do a pretty robust survey with them before and after. I will get that details to all of you via memo shortly, but I wanted to go through this one question with you tonight. So how knowledgeable do you feel you currently are about how city government works? This is the before, and you will see that we had quite a spread everywhere from not at all knowledgeable to, I think one that they were extremely knowledgeable coming in. And then the after, they're all bumped up to moderately knowledgeable or extremely knowledgeable. So I feel like that's a success of the goal of the program, and I'm really excited to present them to you. They've been a wonderful class, highly engaged, and we're looking forward to seeing them continue to be engaged in the future. So without further ado, so if we can hear a round of applause for each graduate. Brittany Hudson. Chad Davis. David Berry. Reverend Elder Lenore. Elle Carter. Erica Ayers. Just a few that weren't elevated tonight. Somebody folks seems to be doing that. Gladys Lindes. Gonzalo. Jeremy Henry Dixon was not able to be here tonight. Kevin Tyson. Marina was not able to be here. Patrice Franklin. Pat Sellery. Rebecca Hester was not able to be here. Renee Brown. Thomas Saunders. Alan Weeks. Natalie Wilson. Joshua Travis Knight was not able to be here tonight, I don't think. And Mike Campbell and Mike Waters, one is celebrating an anniversary and one has a sick child, so they're not here. So commissioners, if you can all come to the front, we'd love to get a group photo. Class, if you want to kind of make 2 rows.
Ain't got a great photo of you. What's that? Spiffy laser. I loved it. You're much more buff than I am. That was nice.
Commissioners, if you'll stay down for our next presentations, I would appreciate it. So, Commissioners, I'm going to ask C.J. Scott, our Chief Financial Officer, and Alan Weeks to come forward. And I don't know if we have anybody else, C.J., from the finance team that is with us this evening, but certainly would invite them as well. This is just giving recognition to another significant accomplishment of the City of Winter Haven's Finance Department. Earlier this month, I had received notice from the Government Finance Officers Association of our presentation of an award of excellence for our finance department. So the Government Financial Officers Association of the United States and Canada has awarded the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting to the City of Winter Haven for its annual comprehensive financial report for the fiscal year which ended September 30th, 2022. Again, that's September 30th of 22. I'm sure that our one for fiscal year that ends 2023 will also receive the same recognition because they do such a great job. But the ACFR, as we commonly refer to it, has been judged by an impartial panel to meet the high standards of the program, which includes demonstrating a constructive spirit of full disclosure to clearly communicate its financial story and motivate potential users and user groups to read the report. The Certificate of Achievement is the highest form of recognition in the area of governmental accounting and financial reporting, and its attainment represents a significant accomplishment by a government and its management, and particularly in our case, by its financial department and all the folks that make that happen each and every day. So with that, I'd like to congratulate C.J. Scott and Alan Weeks and the entire finance department for achieving the GFOA Certificate of Excellence. So I have one more set of recognition, if you'll kindly remain standing for me this evening. You may recall in years past, the city manager's office on occasion has taken liberty of giving out Project Leader or Project Manager of the Year awards to recognize some of the outstanding accomplishments of staff. Taking a slightly different path this year in recognizing our strategic pillars in that program that we have put together since January, it's my intent to recognize outstanding accomplishments that speak to achievement within those specific 6 strategic pillars. Again, those pillars are quality of life, infrastructure, community safety, responsible government, environmental stewardship, and economic sustainability. We have dubbed these Excellence in Action Awards, and they don't go necessarily to an individual, but they speak to an initiative or a project or something within our community that speaks to those pillars. So I'd like to give out one of those in each category this evening and ask these folks to come forward, and I'll tell you a little bit about what they did. If I could have Tanya Ayers, Hunter Hart, Brian Wells, Jamie Brown, Joe Sia, Sonny Emery, and David Brannon come forward if they're available. This group is being recognized And MJ has your plaque for you. This plaque will actually go into the Winter Haven Police Department, or code compliance, once they have their permanent offices, or safe neighborhoods. This group is being recognized for the Lake Elbert Park Drive Safe Neighborhood Initiative. About this time a year ago, we were dealing with a particularly sensitive issue involving a poorly managed homestead in that area that was creating significant problems for the overall community. Through the help of the fire department, our Safe Neighborhoods Department, the building division, and police, and many, many others, they were able to ultimately work through that. The city acquired that property, was able to do a relocation for the resident that was there, and have made that a much safer and higher quality of life for that neighborhood. So thank you to this group for their work on quality of life. Next, I will ask Steve Reiner and Mark Bombard and Gary Hubbard from the Winter Haven Water Department to come forward. These individuals are being recognized for their involvement in an infrastructure program called the Master Reuse Force Main Interconnect. Nothing sounds sexier than Master Reuse Force Main Interconnect. But this is a significant project for Winter Haven in that it ties together two of our wastewater treatment plants that produce reuse water, which is an alternative to putting potable water on lawns and other irrigation purposes. This is a significant project. It creates redundancy and resiliency within our system and has been a very valuable project to the city overall. I'd like to call forward Troy Heidel, Esteban Suarez, Bobby Kahn, Jose Vega, and Hip Win, if they are all here. I see a couple of them. Okay. So this is in the area of community safety, and so often when we think about community safety, we're all about police and fire and those types of things, but no place is safety more important in our air than at our Winter Haven Airport and on the ground on the securing that facility. So these gentlemen, along with their team, have worked to modernize the entire security system for our airport tenants and users with badge ID, gate controls, and protocols in place that bring us into the 21st century and beyond. It has made our airport a shining star in terms of airport safety for those gaining access. So congratulations on our Airport Safety Enhancement Project. In the area of environmental sustainability, Savannah Winstanley and Dustin Everett, if they are here. You have seen a lot of discussion on this as of late, but this is with respect to our urban forestry master planning efforts. Savannah and Dustin and many others have been very much involved in this. Savannah has been a true champion for the trees. She is the Lorax of Winter Haven, and she has, I think, Mayor, she is taking you up on, what was it, 300,000, a million trees? Was it 100,000 trees? I can't remember now. It's a lot of trees. But she's going to make that happen. Our urban forest is so important to us in terms of just the quality of life for our community, but it's an economic pillar for us. It's also a very significant part of our environmental stewardship, and we are doing great things in that area with urban forestry thanks to these individuals. In the area of economic sustainability, I'd like to call forward Andy Palmer, Angie Hibbard, Mike Campbell, and Steve Pruitt. These are just some of the people that were involved with the substantial completion of Joyce B. Davis Park and the Sidewalk Cafe project. A lot of people look at those projects and think, well, this must be a quality of life initiative, but in reality, the Sidewalk Cafe and truly even Joyce B. Davis Park project are all about economic impact within the downtown community and create additional opportunities for our restaurant businesses and others downtown to have additional footprints to serve more customers. This is an outcropping of the COVID era, 2020, when we could only eat outside, but that project achieved substantial completion just this month and is going to be very impactful long term. And the last one this evening is in the area of responsible government, and I'll ask Katrina Hill and Alan Weeks to come forward. This is with respect to our strategic performance management. Everything we do going forward since January of 2023 has been centered around the strategic pillars that we've been discussing during this presentation. Katrina and Alan, along with the help of all the department directors and those that work on budget, were instrumental in creating performance measurement and metric areas to align what we are putting out in terms of outputs with our programs and our projects, and the inputs in terms of budget and other resources to align with our strategic pillars. And that is part of our dashboards that we'll be rolling out in 2024, and something we're extremely proud of. So in the case of all those plaques that were given out, those will reside within the overseeing departments, and their goal should be going forward to have one in every color so they've achieved each one of those strategic pillars. Congratulations to everybody.
Okay, thank you, T. Point of clarification, it was 100,000 trees within 3 years. That's the goal. Savannah, that's our goal. Worthy goal, ambitious goal. We can do it. Okay, developments of note, we have none. Minutes, we have none. Comments from the audience. Anybody like to come to the podium now? Oh, you have a few people signed up. Sam Pennant, Town of Dundee, please come forward. Give us your name and address. You have 5 minutes. Okay. Now I'm going to ask anybody that speaks, please have the microphone like almost in your mouth. That's how close you have to get to it. Really close.
All right. My name is Sam Pennant, for East Main Street, Dundee. And I'm just here this evening to congratulate Commissioner-elect, but he's not sitting here yet, Mr. Mayor. So I'm wondering if I take a rain trip, and after he's sworn in, I come back and sing a song on his behalf.
What did he say? Come back and sing the song after he swore in.
Yeah, you can come back. You can come back. We'll let you do that.
I take it ready.
All right, just don't let me forget. Okay, we got a treat. Next up, we have Jesse Skubna. Give us your name and address. You have 5 minutes. Please speak into the microphone. Thank you.
My name is Jesse Skubna, I'm 18 3rd Street Southwest. And again, I'm here to discuss the parking lot on the corner of 3rd Street and since the last meeting, I went home and I did a little research of my own. And I did find out that the purchase agreement has expired as of January 18th, 2023. And I did find out a lot of other things as well in my search. Some were a little, I guess, I don't want to say disturbing, but concerning. They're a little concerning. And I would be happy to share them with you if you'd like. But I think I'll say that for another meeting. I'm here tonight and I'm asking that you possibly direct John to end the contract, to send them the notice that they need, because it doesn't seem like that is moving forward the way they said it was going to. And I know that in 2009, the city purchased that lot for $360,000 with the sole purpose of making it a public parking lot. It was never intended to be sold for $188,000 for a private development. So I'm here again to ask you to please reconsider your stance on selling that lot and direct the city attorney to send the proper notice that they need so we can so we can continue to use that as the great city asset that it is. I appreciate your time and consideration on this, and I guess I'll be back at the next meeting to see where things stand. And I just hope that you really give us the resolution that we're looking for. That area, as I said the last 2 meetings, it cannot lose, it cannot afford to lose any more parking. We're maxed out on parking, and when the new development that is on the horizon does come, it's going to be even worse. So I just ask that you please reconsider. And I had some other things to say. I had a conversation with T. Michael before this meeting that was a little promising, so I hope that things continue to move in that direction. But I do appreciate your time and consideration on this, and I really appreciate Commissioner Gates meeting with me and T. Michael taking my phone call and discussing this matter further. So I appreciate your time and consideration on this. And I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Jesse. Next up, we have Rhonda Todd. If you're still here, give us your name and address, please. You have 5 minutes.
Ron Todd, 79 Sunset View Drive, Irving, Florida, AAC Commissioners, City Manager. Each year in November, the Association of Fundraising Professionals holds an annual awards meeting in celebration of outstanding individuals, community partners, business leaders in the community. This year, I'm very proud to say that the Junior League of Greater Winter Haven nominated the City of Winter Haven as an outstanding community partner for our Polk County Association of Philanthropy Day. And I'm very pleased to present you with your award. So we really appreciate all that you do. We've got such a fantastic partnership with the city. We find that you're just easy to work with. You are caring individuals. You care about the best interests of the community. The service that each of you perform throughout the community is just commendable. So on behalf of Junior League of Greater Winter Haven, we want to thank you for all of you for the community and for us. And please keep up the good work, and thank you very much.
Next up, we have Linda Fife. Pardon? Oh, you're 11A. Okay, sorry. Anybody else? This is all that's signed up, but if anybody else would like to address the body, please come forward now. If you give us your name and address, ma'am, you have 5 minutes. You're going to need to pull that a little closer. There you go. Thank you. Start it.
My name is Maria Keith. I live at 1700 6th Street Northwest in Winter Haven. And I'm here today because I've heard about the apartment you want to build behind Champions Church. And living on 117, I can tell you we cannot handle that much more traffic. They are lined up, especially in the morning and in the afternoons, and I think we need to build on our infrastructure first. This would put overcrowding on our roads, in our schools, our water use, and everything else. And we need to get our infrastructure straightened out first. First, perhaps maybe a road going through there or something. But if you do need to do housing, why not single-family homes? There's always a need for single-family homes, and I think that would be more beneficial to the families in this city. And
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, come forward, ma'am. I think that, give us your name and address, please. You have 5 minutes. I'm looking in the light, so I think, okay, yeah.
Good evening, Mayor and City Commissioners. My name is Tina Colcampbell, and I live at 2500 24th Street Northwest. I have some questions and concerns regarding the proposed ordinance on lake countries behind Southern Street Cathedral. I'm opposed to this project. I don't think that more is always better, unless of course you're challenging the numbers. And just because you can does not mean that you should approve this. It looked to me from the agenda review that this was proposed in 1989, and a lot has changed since then. I saw that the original documents called for 700 units, and the concession seems to be set at about 600 units at this point. The numbers that were used by the staff to determine the household size and the average of 1.7 persons per unit is a lowball figure. 600 units will realistically likely house between 2 to 5 people per unit, and a minimum number of 1,200 residents coming in and out daily. Does the project address turning off Avondale with traffic issues? I know it stated in there that this was not the highest level of problems for traffic, but yet it will be a big problem. There are 6 lanes there, 3 on one side, 3 on the other way. There's no light. Will there be a light there? I know that some of this stuff gets referred to DOT. I know this because I had questions and issues when the other apartment building went in down up on 21st Street. And the time to figure all that out is before it happens. Does it provide any incentives for elderly or lower income, which are already displaced by the current market? And there's great need there for that. What's the incentive to us as citizens of Winter Haven for this growth? Do we have the resources, and where is the work coming from? I have to wonder in the history of Winter Haven how many times the City Commission voted against something that staff was recommended. And with that, it makes me wonder what is the point of even allowing us to speak and address this problem or this possible thing that's coming? How do you get in at the beginning of this, as opposed to the end of it? I know it's the next thing on the agenda you're going to vote on, and it's likely going to pass, but I would like to raise those questions for you to consider. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? If you give us your name and address, please. You have 5 minutes.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, my name is Abdurrahim Al-Fatih. I rise this evening to commend the city clerk and deputy city clerk on the fantastic job they did in administering the recent election. Working with them in that endeavor was a joy, and of course I'm absolutely elated that we were victorious. So but I would like to join the mayor up there and congratulate the commissioner Tiffany Allison. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Give us your name and address, please, ma'am. You got 5 minutes.
Teresa Kowalski, 1706th Street Northwest, and I only need 1 minute to say I'm opposed to these apartments. I live there, and the traffic is horrendous. There is nothing in place for all these people. So I know it's like she just said, it's probably a done deal, but I'm tired of it.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. On to ordinance second reading public hearing. This is item 9A on your agenda. This is O2360. This is an administrative request to amend the Winter Haven Code of Ordinance. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance O-23-60, an ordinance amending the Winter Haven Code of Ordinances, Chapter 21, Article Roman numeral 2, Division 2, Sections 21-34 through 21-51, for the purpose of updating language for consistency with the adopted 2035 Winter Haven Comprehensive Plan, providing for repeal of conflicting ordinances, providing severability, providing for codification, providing for the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, and providing an effective date. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager?
Honorable Mayor and City Commissioners, Chapter 21, Article 2, Division 2 establishes the city's zoning districts and the permissible future land use classifications, residential densities, and development intensities for each zoning district. With the adoption of the 2035 Winter Haven Comprehensive Plan, many of the future land use designations were renamed and new residential densities and development intensities were established. The purpose of this request is to update the city's code of ordinances for consistency with the adopted 2035 Winter Haven Comprehensive Plan. All public notifications for this request were met. This is an ordinance pertaining to the amendment of the city's land development regulations, which is enacted to implement requirements contained in Part 2, Chapter 163 of Florida statutes, in accordance with Chapter 2023-309 Laws of Florida. Ordinances implementing Part 2, Chapter 163 Florida statutes are exempt from providing the business impact estimates. The Planning Commission at their November 6th regular meeting voted to recommend approval of this request. No members of the public spoke. Staff recommends the City Commission approve Ordinance O-23-60. Thank you.
Thank you. This is the second reading, so we'll be voting on this tonight. Commissioners, can I get a motion?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Motion to approve second reading ordinance O-23-60.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve O-2360. I'll close the City Commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anybody from the public like to speak to this item, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, reopen City Commission meeting. Commissioners, any questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion passes. On to item 9B on your agenda is O-2361. This is a request by Champions Church to amend a PUD development ordinance. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance O-23-61, an ordinance amending Chapter 21 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Winter Haven, Florida by amending Plan Unit Development Ordinance O-89-33, rezoning a portion of a parcel from Commercial Highway C3 zoning district to Plan Unit Development PUD zoning district, providing for administrative correction of scrivener's errors, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. General location, 1801 Havendale Boulevard. The area covered by this request is 22.3 plus or minus acres. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager?
Mayor and Commissioners, Champions Church Incorporated requests the city amend Planned Unit Development Ordinance O-89-33 and rezone a portion of a parcel from Commercial Highway C3 zoning district to Planned Unit Development zoning district. This covers approximately 22.3 plus or minus acres. And the area consists of the 18,000 square foot Champions Church, paved and unpaved parking, accessory church buildings, a 135-foot communication tower and supporting equipment, a temporary City of Winter Haven fire station, and vacant land. PD 8933 was adopted September 25th, 1989, and allows for 6-story residential buildings north of the existing church building along Lake Hartridge. The maximum density is established by the underlying residential urban future land use. Based on 18.5 plus or minus acres of residential urban on the portion of the property covered by that PUD, 648 residential units could be developed. Per Condition E of the PUD, construction of the residential uses had to commence by March 25th, 1991, 18 months after the PUD's adoption. The remaining 3.8 plus or minus acres of the subject property are designated as neighborhood support future land use with Commercial Highway C3 zoning. Based on the current C3 zoning, an additional 76 residential units and 55,757 square feet of commercial space could be developed. The petitioner is requesting the following changes. Allow 600 multifamily units in buildings up to 7 floors. Allow the existing 18,000 square foot house of worship. Allow 51,240 square feet of retail commercial space. Allow 40,000 square feet of restaurant banquet space. Access will continue to be from Havendale Boulevard. The total number of potential residential units will decrease from 724 to 600. However, the requested 91,240 total square feet of commercial use exceeds the maximum .40 floor area ratio of the adopted neighborhood support future land use by 35,483 square feet. In addition to the requested changes from the petitioner, staff has added conditions addressing building setback requirements, landscaping, sidewalks, internal street and driveway standards, public school concurrency, and electric vehicle charging. This request decreases the overall permitted development intensity of the subject property from what is currently approved by PUD Ordinance 08933. At this time, sufficient utility and roadway capacity is available to support the development on the subject property as proposed. Final concurrency determination will be made at the time a site plan is approved or a subdivision plat is submitted for approval. Based on the maximum potential for up to 600 multifamily units, up to 117 elementary, 28 middle, and 41 high school seats may be required. Final concurrency determination is required to be made at the time of final development approval. Staff's review of the petitioner's request yields the following conclusions. There is sufficient water, wastewater, and roadway capacity to serve the petitioner's proposed residential development. Proposed residential development intensity is consistent with the adopted residential urban and neighborhood support future land uses. However, the requested commercial intensity exceeds the maximum adopted FAR by 35,483 square feet. Proposed development is consistent with surrounding residential densities along this segment of Havendale Boulevard. Proposed residential uses will provide additional housing options to the city. Planning Commission at their November 7th, 2023 meeting voted to recommend approval of this request. One resident made comments relating to traffic, impacts on wildlife adjacent to the lake shore, and the ability to maintain the western elevation of the Hartridge Landings townhouses. Staff recommends the City Commission approve Ordinance 023-61 on second and final reading. And staff from planning, Mr. Eric Labby is here this evening if there's questions specific to this development that he can answer.
Okay, thank you, City Manager. Commissioners?
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Move approval of Ordinance 02361 on second reading, public hearing.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve 02361. I'll close the City Commission meeting and open the public hearing. Anybody from the public like to speak to this item, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and reopen the City Commission meeting. Commissioners, any questions or comments?
I do.
Go ahead. Commissioner Mercer.
Probably of Eric. I'd like to know on the checkbox, I guess you'd say, of meeting all the requirements for the development, land use, capacity. I'd like for him to refresh all of that for everyone.
Sure. For the record, Eric Labby, really, we're considering land use and zoning changes that we're looking at is compatibility with uses and compatibility with surrounding uses. Keep in mind that the infrastructure, we have concurrency in the city of Wayne. So what you're seeing in your staff is a snapshot of time. We currently have adequate potable water, sanitary sewer, more than sufficient transportation capacity. On the roadway to accommodate the proposed intensity in this application. If you look at surrounding uses, what's proposed here is there's some retail entertainment and apartments. Immediately to the east, we have the Cypress Cathedral apartments, and immediately on the other side we have, or on the same side we have these Partridge Landings townhomes. So we have multifamily in the area existing today, so the uses are compatible. Surrounding uses, Cypress Cathedral apartments are 22.9, almost 23 units to the acre. Existing has 6 floors. Immediately adjacent, proposed is 26.8 units to the acre, 7 floors, so they look almost identical in terms of density and height in this area.
And Mr. Mayor, Commission, if I might, given that this is a quasi-judicial consideration as a rezoning matter, you have to base your decision based on the competent substantial evidence that you would hear. You've heard from the city's planning manager just now, and to the extent that the action that would be challenged, you'd have to give a reason for why you would be denying it. I just wanted to advise the Commission that this is a quasi-judicial matter and that we need to base the decision based on the competent substantial evidence that you have heard before you this evening. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Brian?
We don't have a layout of this plan yet for this development, right? Like where the buildings are going to be, or?
There's a conceptual layout in here, fact sheet.
Is it on our computer?
It's in the Granicus attachments, Mayor and Commissioners. If you look at ordinance, the actual ordinance 2361, not the summary report, and go to page,
Okay, got it.
I think it's 9 of 9, there is a, looks like a conceptual plan.
Can you dive a little bit deeper into the 35,000 square foot commercial that doesn't fit?
Yeah, so they proposed over 90,000 square feet of retail commercial similar uses. The planning and development reduces that to 55,755 square feet is what will be allowed in the PUD. That brings, that's because what they proposed exceeds.
So you're bringing them in line to meet those standards?
Yes.
So, and did we get to the bottom? Is there any affordable component to this project, or?
We've not had discussions with the developer on affordable workforce housing. It is not completely those discussions. This is just the plan, zoning portion. They still have to build the uses. We don't have a timeline for them. Keep in mind, it could be years before this project is ever developed. That's why we have some currency, to make sure that when they come forward to develop, that we have the adequate infrastructure. So we can still have those conversations with them. I would argue that any additional multifamily that we get into the surrounding marketplace helps our affordable and our workforce housing situation.
And so before they break dirt, they've got to have the infrastructure's all got to be improved, all the layout has to be approved, there's more steps. So just to summarize here, and this is where I think so many times it's lost because, it's out there that commission approves this and commission approves that. Well, we're not approving, this isn't day one on this project. So just in summary, to make sure I'm grasping everything, we're taking a reduction of units of over 100 units. We're reducing commercial square footage down to 55,000. We've got capacity on the roads. Whether it takes us 5 minutes longer, that's not what determines capacity. What determines capacity is counts on the roads, not how long your trip takes. Unfortunately, because I'm right there with everybody else, it takes longer to get from point A to point B. But that's not a reason under state statute to deny a request. So to me, the advantages here is we're taking the reductions, we're getting reductions from what was originally done in 1989. We're bringing this thing in line, and once it does come to fruition, once it takes those next steps, it's got to go through the approval process at that point, and it moves forward. I hit the nail on the head? Okay.
You probably said it better than I can. There are checks and balances in place. If this developer chooses to wait 3, 4, 5 years before he comes forward with a development plan, and there is not an adequate water or sewer or transportation capacity in our existing system, or exceeds adjacent schools, that development plan cannot be approved.
If this was day one and raw land and nothing, hey, I think that's a lot easier to say no to. But here it's, it may not be the full benefits of what we'd like to see, but it is a reduction, and we are moving smaller, and that's the steps we can and legally take at that point.
Anybody else? Okay. All those in favor of the motion, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Aye. 3-1, motion passes. On to item 9C on your agenda is an administrative request to amend a PUD ordinance O-2045. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number O-23-62, an ordinance amending Chapter 21 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, to amend Plan Unit Development Ordinance O-20-45, providing for administrative correction of scrivener's errors, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. The general location, 13 parcels generally located east and west of Logistics Parkway, approximately 1,300 feet north of Old Bartow Lake Wales Road. The area covered by this request is 932 plus or minus acres. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager.
Mayor and Commissioners, this is the ILC property south of Wastewater Treatment Plant 3. This is a staff request to amend PUD Ordinance O-20-45 on the 932 plus or minus acres. This pertains specifically to signage. So when this PUD was adopted in 2012 and later amended in 2020, since then the signage requirements have remained the same since that 2012 adoption. However, as this once dormant industrial site shifts to more of a state-of-the-art manufacturing development, staff realizes the limitations on signage are not compatible with the development of this size. So our proposed changes include increasing the number of monument signs from 1 per parcel to 1 per driveway cut with a minimum of a 200-foot separation, increasing the monument maximum sign copy area from 72 to 150 square feet and the maximum height from 10 feet to 15 feet, removing the limitation on how many building sides a wall sign can be placed on each building, increasing the total building signage square footage from 300 to 600 square feet. No other changes are proposed. The requested amendments to the PUD are consistent with the industrial future land use and other goals, objectives, and policies contained in the 2035 comprehensive plan. Staff's conclusion on this is that the original PUD covering the subject property was approved in 2012. The established signage requirements are incompatible with the magnitude of development existing, currently under construction, and proposed on this site. Minor revisions to the signage requirements allows for appropriate and compatible signage on each site to better identify buildings and direct truck and vehicular traffic. There's no direct financial impact to the City of Winter Haven with this request. The Planning Commission on November 6, 2023 voted to recommend approval of this request. One member of the public spoke with questions regarding the development of the entire site. Staff recommends City Commission approve Ordinance 23-62. Again, this pertains only to a revision in the signage allowances within the ILC. Thank you.
Thank you, City Manager. Commissioners?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I move for approval and public hearing of O-2362.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve O-2362. I'll close the City Commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anybody from the public like to speak to this item, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, reopen City Commission meeting. Commissioners, any questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion passes. On to O-2363. This is Administrative Ordinance O-2267. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number O-23-63, an ordinance amending ordinance number O-22-67, appropriation of funds for defraying the expenses of the municipal government of the City of Winter Haven for the fiscal year commencing October 1st, 2022, providing an effective date. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager.
Mayor and Commissioners, per Florida statutes, the governing body of a municipality may amend the budget any time within a specific fiscal year or within 60 days following the end of the fiscal year. The ordinance adopting the annual budget allows the budget to be amended by ordinance provided that a corresponding funding source supports any additional expenses. Budget Ordinance O-23-63 appropriates insurance proceeds due to Hurricane Ian, interest income due to favorable interest rates, franchise fee revenue due to new utility rates effective January 1st, 2023, and make certain changes in the budget for fiscal year ending September 30th of 2023. The ordinance appropriates additional proceeds of $3,478,625 to the general fund, with an offset of $359,000 associated with hurricane expenditures. Staff recommends City Commission approve Ordinance O23-63 on second and final reading. Thank you.
Thank you, City Manager. Commissioners?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Approve second reading and public hearing of ordinance O2363.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve O2363. I'll close City Commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anybody from the public like to speak to this item, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, reopen the City Commission meeting. Questions, comments, Commissioners? Go ahead, Mayor Pro Tem.
I don't have.
Oh, okay. All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion passes. Now, on to what everybody's here for. Certification. Certification of election and swearing in. So we've got item 10A is a certification of the December 5th, 2023 City of Winter Haven special runoff municipal election for City Commission seat number 5. T, you take it from here, or is it John?
T. Michael.
T. Michael, City Manager.
Mayor and Commissioners, this is actually the City Clerk's item, but I'll be happy to read it for you this evening. So the City of Winter Haven's 2023 special runoff municipal election for City Commission seat number 5 was held Tuesday, December 5th, 2023, between candidates Jonathan D. Bush and Clifton E. Dollison. Since no candidate had received a majority, or at least 50% plus one, of the votes cast in the special election on November 7th, a special runoff election was necessary per the City of Winter Haven Code of Ordinances, Chapter 2, Article Roman numeral 5. Elections, Section 2-145, Manner and Method of Elections. Election results. The total number of ballots cast was 3,439. This includes 2 unscanned provisional ballots the canvassing board accepted to open at their December 8th, 2023 meeting. Jonathan D. Bush received 1,497 votes, or 43.66% of those cast. Clifton E. Dollison received 1,932 votes, or 56.34% of those cast. Canvassing board members for this election consist of Mayor Dantzler, Mayor Pro Tem Birdsong, Commissioner Yates, and Commissioner Mercer. Mayor Dantzler was selected as the chairperson for the canvassing board. On November 28th, 2023 at 3 p.m., the Supervisor of Elections Operations Center, a logic and accuracy test was performed, which determined that the voting equipment and/or devices were properly programmed and in working order. Only one member of the canvassing board needed to be present. Therefore, Mayor Dantzler attended. City Manager also attended as an alternate canvassing member to serve as an observant. On Monday, December 4th, 2023 at 10 a.m. at City Hall, in the John Fuller Auditorium, the canvassing board, consisting of Mayor Dantzler, Mayor Pro Tem Birdsong, Commissioner Yates, and Commissioner Mercer, met to authorize the city clerk to prepare vote-by-mail ballots mailed through Friday, December 1st, 2023 at the Supervisor of Elections for processing on election night. At this meeting, Mayor Dantzler was selected as the chair of the canvassing board, once again by consensus. Tuesday, December 5th, 2023 at 6 p.m., the canvassing board, consisting of Chairperson Dantzler, Mayor Pro Tem Birdsong, Commissioner Yates, and Mercer, met at the Supervisor of Elections Operations Center to canvass vote-by-mail provisional ballots and review the unofficial results of the election. Also present, City Attorney Murphy, City Clerk Castillo, and Election Community Services Director Rachel Harris. Friday, December 8th, 2023 at 10 a.m., a quorum of the canvassing board consisting of Mayor Pro Tem Birdsong, Commissioner Yates, and Commissioner Mercer, serving as an alternate chair, met at City Hall to certify the election. They accepted to open 2 provisional ballots, which were incorporated into the reference totals that I had just provided to you, and they certified the results. They also met to randomly select a precinct, which was precinct number 314, First Baptist Church, Lucerne Park, for a post-election certification voting system audit, or post-election audit, which is required by law. There will be since there was only one race, therefore a random race selection was not necessary. This audit will be held at the Supervisor of Elections office tomorrow, December 12th, 2023 at 11 a.m. Seat number 5 candidate who wins the special runoff election will be sworn in this evening at our regular City Commission meeting. In compliance with the City of Winter Haven Charter, Section 63, the attached certification of the canvassing board is hereby transmitted to the City Commission for approval. Staff recommends the City Commission approve the certification for the December 5th, 2023 special runoff municipal election.
Okay. City Clerk, would you like to add anything as our election official?
He said it very well.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Mr. Mayor?
All right. Commissioners?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Move approval of the certification of the December 5th, 2023 City of Winter Haven special runoff municipal election for Commission seat number 5.
Thank you. We have a motion to certify the December 5th, 2023 election. I'll close the City Commission meeting. Open the public hearing. Anybody from the public like to speak to this item, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and reopen City Commission meeting. Any questions or comments, Commissioners? All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion passes. Congratulations.
Mr. Mayor,
City Manager?
Yeah, if I could just offer a comment before we go to the swearing in so that they can get prepared. I do want to extend just a personal point of just commendation to City Clerk Vanessa Castillo, our Deputy City Clerk Latanya Harris. Municipal elections are a very challenging ordeal to deliver, and there's a lot of moving parts with that, statutory language and provisions that have to be accounted for. Your team in the City Clerk's office did a phenomenal job with the elections throughout this season. To have a special election on top of a regular municipal election is no easy feat. And Vanessa and Latanya did a great job with that. So on behalf of the City Manager's Office, just want to extend my appreciation to both of them.
Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to swear in newly elected Commissioner Dollison, then I want to take a 10-minute break for pictures and congratulations, and then we'll seat Mr. Dollison right here, and we'll continue on with the business of the people. So proceed, John.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Commission, members of the audience, and citizens who have come out this evening. It's my distinct pleasure to be able to administer this oath of office to the Reverend Clifton Dollison. Reverend Dollison, if you would please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Clifton E. Dollison, do solemnly swear that I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution and government of the City of Winter Haven, the State of Florida, and the United States of America. That I am duly qualified to hold office under the Constitution of the state, and that I will faithfully perform the duties of City Commissioner C5 of the City of Winter Haven, on which I am now about to enter. So help me God. Official.
Okay, we're gonna take a 10-minute recess. We're gonna take a 10-minute recess for pictures, and then we'll come back in 10 minutes and start from there. So we're recessed for 10 minutes.
Break is over.
Come on, government at the sunshine. Government at the sunshine.
She kept watching.
Come earn this big paycheck now.
You're right, man. I know it. The guy told me it was $1.17 an hour.
Son, bump you up into the next tax bracket. Look out, man.
Hey, look here. I ain't even signed the W-2. I made that happen.
Commissioner,
Yes,
do
congratulations.
you have any comments you'd like to make before we proceed on with the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor, it is with profound appreciation that I give thanks to God first and foremost, who's the head of my life, and my Lord Savior Jesus Christ, and to a wonderful church family who embraced me for the past 31 years as their leader, as their spiritual leader, and I'm grateful to God for each and every one of them. And I want to thank the citizens of Winter Haven who exercised their right and duty to vote, and we were victorious, and we're thankful for the opportunity to serve our great city. Winter Haven is a great place to live. My family has grown here, my children and now my grandchildren who are here tonight. And to my lovely wife for 42 years, Valerie, who has been my partner in life. I can't say enough about her, but I want her to know how much I truly love her for standing by me, even at this point in my life, to give service to our community. Servant leadership is what we were sharing, what we wanted to make sure that the message was clear, that we would serve the greater good of the city of Winter Haven, that we would represent all citizens. I want to thank also my campaign manager, Minister Abdul Al-Khatib, for his great and outstanding work, supporting me, standing by me, and standing out on the corner with a bullhorn every morning and telling everyone that to vote for me. So, and to all those who did support and who came out, and to my certainly dear friend, one of my colleagues in ministry, Dr. J.J. Pierce, I want to thank him tonight for being such a wonderful friend down through the years. And also to my children tonight. My son was here, Bradley, my son Austin, my youngest son, and my daughter Trista, who's not here tonight, and to my grandchildren who are present here. My granddaughter came to me and she got in my lap and went right to sleep. And that's what grandchildren do when they're in Papa's lap. So again, thank you tonight for all who came out from the community to share. It's a blessing just to have this opportunity, and I will never take it lightly, and I hope that I will do my best, and I will promise you I will do my best to serve the city as well as I think many of you hope that I will. God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, you guys got enough pictures? All right. On to the consent agenda, Commissioners.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes?
motion to approve consent agenda as a whole.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve the consent agenda as a whole. I'll close City Commission meeting, open a public hearing. Anybody from the public like to speak to any item on the consent agenda, please do so at this time. We have one person coming up, Linda Fife, who's going to speak about 11A. This is the amending the number 2 to Kimberly Horn Agreement for Logistics Parkway Extension. Give us your name and address. You have 5 minutes.
Traditions stay good. I would like to say thank you to
talked about the impact that traffic has on Louisville Road. We also talked the last 2 years about traffic on Thomas Nursery Road Extension Project. Our concern all along is that that area we talked about on Logistics Parkway the last few minutes or hour or so here. Number one, this is a commercial area. We've talked over the last 2 years with promises from the city commission that all commercial trucks will be directed southbound out on Highway 60. The one concern that we have, we understand, certainly we look at the reconfiguration of Logistics Parkway under this proposal, is the doing away with the roundabout that's there, which makes it a straight shot from Highway 60 up to actually Louisville Road as it connects to Pollard Road right there. So we understand the logistics of it. We would like you to keep in mind that as these change orders come up, that restrictions on the speed limit, once again, restricting commercial traffic northbound on the road as it passes a commercial area. The extension of Pollard Road on Logistics Parkway is there so that the workers have easier access into this manufacturing area, which hopefully will employ all these people that we're putting into these new multi-family units that we are creating throughout our city. So once again, we just ask that you keep an eye on these things as they develop, keeping in mind traffic flow, which is so, it builds constantly throughout our neighborhood, and I know that you'll keep these things in mind as we move forward. Thank you again.
Thank you, Linda. Anybody else want to speak to this item? Please come forward. Are you coming forward? Yes, give us your name and address. You have 5 minutes.
Yes, Roger Goodman, 6335 Tierra Vista Circle. I'm actually wanting to talk to you about the Big Belly contract. Is that part of this agenda, or is that a few later on?
Did you say the Big Belly?
Yeah,
It is.
it's in there.
Yeah, that's number 11H. So yes.
Okay, so there's a lot to be concerned with this Big Belly contract. Big Belly knows more about you than you think. In New York City in 2016, concerns were made that Big Belly was turning city trash into a treasure trove of data collection. Big Belly has had modems in place in all of their machines since 2009. In 2016, they started turning trash cans into Wi-Fi hotspots for consumers, starting in the city of New York and then Philadelphia. Is lack of Wi-Fi in downtown Winter Haven a real concern? If Big Belly brings Wi-Fi hotspots to local trash cans, it's not hard to imagine that they're collecting data for big tech. Big Belly could also start collecting a huge range of city data. In 2015, Big Belly CEO Jack Kuttner said that the possibilities for data collection via sensors in the trash cans are endless, from pedestrian traffic to pollution to radiation protection. Since then, Kuttner's role has expanded to include working with big city data development and analytics. Philadelphia City Controller Alan Buskovitz issued a follow-up review of the Department of Streets Big Belly solar competitors and found there was no cost savings at all with a $6.5 million contract spent on the high-tech waste plants. The obvious concern that if Big Belly turns into big data collection, hackers will also notice. Whatever their future holds here in Winter Haven, it's amazing that you're even talking about it. We're talking about trash cans, not data collection. Depending on the sensitivity of the data, I have a few questions for you. Does Big Belly have the digital infrastructure necessarily to protect itself and you and the city of Winter Haven from cyber attacks? In data collection by foreign and bad actors, data breaches talk of implementing central bank digital currency social credit scores. We the public have woken up and realized that data collection and tracking is not a good thing, and it's probably a lot worse than I can even articulate. What efficiencies or cost savings is Winter Haven going to get from this contract? What exact study are you basing it on? And how will you, the city, protect citizen data? And was the public ever asked if they wanted this to be a priority, if they wanted their data collected from waste streams? Is the city of Winter Haven financially benefiting from this data? The dividing line of a smart city can easily create a dystopia instead of a euphoria. We ask that you reconsider this and take it off the consent agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, I will close the public hearing or open the city commission meeting. Commissioners, any questions or comments? Cliff, this is your first vote. You're always going to remember this. It's a consent agenda, so this is your very first vote. Think closely now. All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion passes. Okay. On to resolutions. This is 12A on your agenda, R2363. This is adopting a cybersecurity framework to comply with sections 282.3185. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution R-23-63, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, adopting the National Institute of Standards and Technology Cybersecurity Framework as the city's cybersecurity standards, and authorizing the city manager or his designee to adopt policies and procedures as necessary to implement the framework standards and to comply with Section 282.3185 of the Florida statutes, authorizing the city manager or his designee to affirm compliance with Section 282.3185 of the Florida statutes, and providing for severability, repealer, and for the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, and providing for an effective date. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager, anything changed on any of these adopt resolutions? Please update us. Otherwise, you got it.
No changes from workshop. Again, this is complying with Florida statutes requiring that each local government adopt cybersecurity standards to safeguard data. Technical questions on this can be directed to Hip Wynn, our Chief Information Officer, Smart City Officer that is with us this evening.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Motion to approve resolution R-23-63.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve R-2363. I'll close the City Commission meeting and open a public hearing. Anybody from the public want to speak to this resolution, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and reopen City Commission meeting. Commissioners, any questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion passes. R-2364, no through trucks on Central Avenue. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution R-23-64, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, establishing a, quote, no through trucks, close quote, zone on Central Avenue from 1st Street North to 6th Street Northwest, parenthesis, Highway 17, close parenthesis, and authorizing the city manager to have posted, quote, no through trucks, close quote, for Central Avenue from 1st Street North to 6th Street Northwest, parenthesis, Highway 17, and providing for severability, repealer, and for the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, and providing for an effective date. Thank you.
Thank you. City Attorney. City Manager.
Mayor and Commissioners, nothing has changed since workshop review on this, and again, this is to establish a no through trucks designation on Central Avenue from 1st Street North to 6th Street Northwest, which is Highway 17. This does not eliminate or deter the local deliveries, trucks that are providing service to the businesses, restaurants, and the like downtown. This is simply through truck traffic that is traveling directly from 1st Street to 17 or vice versa with no business in the downtown that's being serviced.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Yep.
Motion to approve resolution R-23-64.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve R-2364. I'll close the City Commission meeting and open the public hearing. Anybody from the public like to speak to this resolution, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing, reopen City Commission meeting. Commissioners, any questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion passes. R-2365, Florida Commerce G0073 Grant, Amendment Number 1. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution R-23-65, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, approving that certain Amendment 1 to grant agreement between the Department of Commerce and the City of Winter Haven under Florida Job Growth Infrastructure Grant Agreement Number G0073 for funding for the design and construction of a road to connect Logistics Parkway to Pollard Road, and authorizing the city manager and appropriate city officials to execute said Amendment 1 and to take all other necessary actions regarding said Amendment 1, and providing for severability conflicts for the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, and providing for an effective date. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager.
Mayor and Commissioners, nothing has changed since workshop. Just as a reminder, this resolution provides a time extension to January 6, 2027 to complete all the construction. This on the Logistics Parkway project. The grant phase of this requires that we have to have expended our funds specific to this job growth grant by June 30th, 2024. However, the project itself does not need to be fully constructed until at the latest January 6th of 2027. Staff recommends City Commission approve R2365. Thank you.
Thank you, City Manager. Commissioners?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I move for resolution R2365.
Thank you. We have motion to approve R2365. I'll close City Commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anybody from the public like to speak to this item, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, reopen the City Commission meeting. Commissioners, any questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion passes. 12D on your agenda is R2366. It's the Florida FDOT Grant Amendment number 1. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution number R-23-66, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, approving that certain amendment number 1 for extension of public transportation grant agreement between the State of Florida Department of Transportation, FDOT, and the City of Winter Haven under the Public Transportation Grant Agreement under Financial Management number 449546-1-94-01 for funding for the design and construction of a road to connect Logistics Parkway to Pollard Road, and authorizing the city manager and appropriate city officials to execute said amendment number 1 and to take all other necessary actions regarding said amendment number 1 and the project, providing for severability conflicts for the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, and providing for an effective date. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager?
Mayor and Commissioners, there's 2 grants that pertain to Logistics Parkway. The one you just approved the resolution on was for the Florida Job Growth Grant. This is the second grant that applies to that project, which is an FDOT grant, and it also is allowing for a time extension on the project per the DOT standards, in this case to June 30th of 2025, and we are fully confident that we will achieve that with the construction of that. As you know, we have already awarded phase 2 of that project and are wrapping up design on phase 1 right now.
Good. Okay. Thank you, City Manager. Commissioners?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Move approval of resolution R-2366.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve R-2366. I'll close the City Commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anybody from the public like to speak to this item, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, reopen the City Commission meeting. Commissioners, any questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion passes. We have no ordinance first reading on the new business. This is an agreement for purchase and sale of real property. City Manager, would you take this one?
I'm going to ask City Attorney John Murphy to present this item for you this evening. I know we had lengthy discussion on this at Wednesday night's meeting, but for further details.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager, Mayor, Commissioners. BF 1500 LLC, formerly known as Bradco Farms, a Florida limited liability company, owns approximately 570 acres of real estate in Polk County, Florida, located north of State Road 542, Dundee Road, which is east of Buckeye Loop Road, and generally west of Sage Road. The City of Winter Haven proposes to acquire approximately 370 acres of the property for wetland restoration, aquifer recharge, and conservation purposes and other municipal purposes. In addition, the city proposes to construct municipal buildings and other municipal improvements for the City of Winter Haven's water department and perhaps other departments in the future on the appropriate lands. The financial impact: the city and BF 1500 have agreed to a purchase price of $10 million for the approximate 370 acres. The closing on the property is scheduled for this Friday, December 15th, 2023. Funding will be provided by debt issuance of $8 million and utility funds of $2 million. Acquisition costs are budgeted in current year, 2023-24, in the referenced account listed in the fact sheet. The recommendation is that the City Commission approve the agreement for purchase and sale of real property and expressly authorize the city manager or his designee to execute the agreement and take all further necessary actions necessary thereto related to the closing, to include executing all of the closing documents and other related matters. You have attached to the agenda as part of your agenda package is or Granicus is the agreement for purchase and sale, as well as the land purchase, a general description or depiction of the property. I would note that the parties have agreed that there are 3 documents that will be negotiated that we are currently negotiating but will be executed and presented back to you after closing. They will be a potential dedication of restrictions on the land, covenants of declaration of restrictions. There will be a developer's agreement which will address generally the development of the upland and other portions of the property, more generally in favor of the current owner, the seller, and there will be an easement agreement, a master easement agreement that will allow ingress, egress, and other necessary features for the city and for the property owners to access their lands. As you can see on the map, not the one that's on the screen, but that's included within your package, that there are some portions of this land which are going to, the city, as the ultimate owner, will be required to have access for ingress and egress. So the parties are in the cooperative spirit of good faith, and we have contractually allowed for that to continue, and those provisions will survive closing. We are in the process right now of negotiating or discussing with Bob Sammons, the attorney for the property owner, who I understand was present at your agenda review session last Wednesday. Mr. Bradshaw and his family are not present tonight, but we continue to have conversations with their attorney and look forward to a successful and mutually beneficial closing on this transaction.
Okay. City Manager, you got anything you want to add?
Well, I was going to, you had inquired about appraisals on those properties.
About what?
Appraisals?
Yes.
Associated with that sale. There were actually 3 different appraisals that were done on that. There was an initial appraisal that was just on looking at wetland areas that was $1.8 million for the acquisition. There was one that was based upon the entire swath of the 568 acres that was $24,160,000, and then Nick Mancuso had also done one for the entire parcel at $11,425,000. So we actually had 3 different appraisals done on that. The carve out of the lands that are being acquired, it's very strategic in the sense that these are lands that we see as very valuable to us from a long-term water restoration standpoint. This is exactly what we need to acquire in the sense of being able to do aquifer recharge, utilizing our reuse water, and to rehydrate these historic wetlands. That is to the long-term benefit of our overall water supply. And then there's uplands also tied in with that will allow us to develop an appropriate water department campus, thus ultimately freeing up the land that we are on right now in just south of downtown for a more appropriate development than a municipal complex there.
So you anticipate that to become surplus property downtown, or?
I would fully expect that, and I think that the timing of that is uncertain at this point. Obviously, we have to build new facilities, but that's the site. That's the former Hill Nissan dealership. Yeah. It's just was never intended to be a long-term location for our water utility operations. Ingress egress is somewhat limiting, and to bring in the type of equipment that we have and to be able to store pipe and all that stuff, it's just not the ideal location.
And that's about 5 acres? Do we know?
Gary's saying it's about 3.
3, okay. So Mancuso, recent appraised the land that we're buying for over 11 million?
Yes, sir.
And we're buying it for 10?
And it was a larger parcel that he looked at, and that was an appraisal that was done. Gary, do you remember if the get this right, the BBG was done before or after Mancuso's? I don't recall. So the BBG is the one that the Bradshaws had done that listed the same property at over $24 million.
That was for the entire piece, yep. Which we're not buying.
Right. We're only buying the 368, 369, roughly.
And what was Mancuso's? Was that the piece we're buying, or was that a larger piece as well?
It's a larger piece because it incorporated more of the uplands.
Okay. All right. Questions, comments, commissioners?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Motion to approve the agreement for purchase and sale of real property, BF 1500 LLC.
Thank you. We have motion to approve, motion to purchase the sale of real property, BF 1500. I'll close City Commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anybody from the public like to speak to this item, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and reopen the city commission meeting. Commissioners, any questions or comments?
And Mr. Mayor, I just want to make sure that that motion includes, as the staff report noted, the delegation of the authority of the city manager to execute the agreements and all other documents associated therewith.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I just want to say hats off to Gary and the staff, because this is really a tremendous project in the life cycle for the city of Winter Haven. Years in the future, it will show that this was so significant in our alternative water supply solutions that we are pursuing. So I never thought I'd live to see this. This has been in the works for a very, very, very long time. And for you all to pull this off at this time, I'm elated.
I'll give you some more good news. I'll have Gary approach the podium just before you vote on this. It doesn't have anything to do with your vote, but a year ago tomorrow, we sat in this very same room and we discussed a PepsiCo grant that we received for $2 million to put towards that. So Gary and his team have been continuing to pursue grants, and we've got some updates on that.
So this past weekend, we got some really good news. We submitted a grant application for this project to the City of Florida program, and we learned that we were tied for number 15 in the state for funding for this project. Now, what does that mean? Well, if the appropriation is greater than $100 million, which we anticipate it will be, we have a grant for $6.375 million for this project.
Wow.
Oh, that is good news. Holding that mic on us.
So that will be a significant priority for us during our legislative advocacy efforts this year. That will move to the top of our list to make sure that that grant program is funded at the maximum level so that this project survives within that and gets its full $6+ million worth of grant funding.
So those funds would have to go, so the Pepsi funds had to be for the development of the property. Yeah, so what would this have to be used for?
This will be used for construction on the wetlands.
Okay.
Not the acquisition?
Not the acquisition. So these would be added to the Pepsi funds, which would give us 8, 9 million.
We think the total project is around 25.
Around what?
25 million.
25 million?
Yes.
Okay.
Does that include acquisition?
Yes.
Okay, so really, we're about 6 million away from being fully funded, if that comes in.
Right. We're exploring other options, more at the federal level. So we continue.
Mayor?
Okay, yes.
I have a question. Is there any way we could get funding to purchase land through Forever Florida or something like that?
We did have a meeting just today about that, so we are exploring that option also. There are some drawbacks going through that program, and the state that owns the property itself. There would be a conservation easement, so there's some restrictions that we have to look at very carefully in that program.
Wow.
Okay. All right, any other questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion? I did take public comment on this, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Yes.
Okay. I thought I did. Sorry. It's been a long night. All right, all those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion passes. All right, that's good news. City Commission liaison reports. Mayor Pro Tem Birdsong, why don't you start off?
All right. I attended the menorah lighting ceremony in Central Park, and this is a Jewish celebration and for Hanukkah, and it was a good evening. It was a good evening. I attended the EDC Board of Directors meeting and got an update on Project Mist. And we were told at that meeting that it's the single largest manufacturing project in the history of Polk County. I mean, the building that's being built right now, they said if you started at one door and circled the building, you would have walked 1.5 miles. They said if you took the building and started where the library is downtown, it would extend all the way to Grove Roots. I mean, that is a humongous building. And it's supposed to generate 400 full-time jobs. So this is a tremendous economic project for the city of Winter Haven. So hats off to Bruce. I don't see him out here this evening, but and to the staff of Winter Haven that really helped land this project. I mean, it's just great news for the city of Winter Haven. Attended the Florida League of Cities Legislative Policy Committee meeting in Orlando, and particularly our committee, which is the Natural Resources Committee. And I saw something on TV recently from the city of Tampa that was talking about a way that they were going to invest and build a plant to treat PFAS. Had you heard that, Gary and T? Have y'all heard that? Oh, okay.
I think you
Yes,
were
and
saying it on
that's,
the news this morning about it.
they're thinking that probably in 2024, that the feds are going to come out with some type of regulation as to what we should have in our water, in the groundwater, and so it could be very costly. But at any rate, I just thought that was interesting. Attended the farmers market at the water tower. That's the best way I know to put it. And this is a tremendous little inside farmers market in the city of Winter Haven. I tasted food from at least 3 restaurants inside this flea market. And I mean, it's all types of food. It's, in fact, Caribbean with oxtails and plantain and, I mean, Spanish foods. I mean, it was it's a great market. And then there's a grocery store. I saw some things, some foods in there I haven't seen in 50 years. And one of them was chicken feet. I mean, they were selling chicken feet. You know what a chicken feet is? When we were growing up, we used to say there's no meat on those feet to even eat. But they're selling those. They had a whole head in there. I said, oh my goodness. But they had fruits and vegetables, the insurance. It was just a tremendous market, and I really do wish them success. And finally, I just want to say that I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Be blessed, be safe, and remember the reason for the season is Christ. So keep Christ in Christmas, and we all will be all right. So Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Commissioner Dawson, you have anything? I know it's kind of putting you on the spot. You can, of course, say no, but...
I've been to the market, and I've actually purchased in there, and I would echo Commissioner Birdsong. It is a it is a wonderful place to visit and to certainly go to lunch. I do want to say tonight is very special in that I cannot help but think of a person that meant much to our city in the personality of J.P. Powell. And so I serve the remainder of his term, and it is a great honor. And it was one of the thoughts that I had when I considered even running for this seat, knowing him and appreciating him as an individual, but also as a servant of the city, who served the city and worked in this community. So I want to thank God for his memory and certainly to his lovely family tonight.
Okay. Mr. Yates.
Yeah, so first of all, I just want to say congratulations to, did we figure it out yet? Is it Reverend Commissioner Dollison or Commissioner Reverend Dollison?
I think we need to take a vote on what we're going to call you.
Congratulations on a well-run campaign, and I think you're going to do a tremendous job up here. I do have some bad news. The city attorney will not allow us to go fishing together. He probably won't let us go to lunch together, so we'll have to wait until you're done to have some fun. But I look forward to working with you for as long as you can choose to serve and are up here with us.
Appreciate that.
Outside of that, I just want to say kudos to the city staff attending the tree lighting, the boat parade, the Havendale parade, a few other festivities this time of year, and it just amazes me. In the last 4 years, of course, my first year we had COVID, so there wasn't anybody there then, but I've never seen in 42 years of being here in Winter Haven, which born and raised, never seen crowds like that at the tree lighting, at the Christmas parade, at the boat parade. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible, and I think everybody had a tremendous time, and that could not be done without the hardworking men and women of the City of Winter Haven staff, so kudos to all of you. With that, I attended a few other things, but it's been a long enough meeting, so we'll move on. I did want to say this is our last meeting of the year, right? We did table that, so just wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and look forward to starting 2024 off strong.
All right, Tracy.
Yes, just to make things real short, just going to run through the list. Attended the FLC Legislative Conference in Orlando, and one of the things that we'll be doing is preparing some legislation for the cities with electric cars so that they pay their fair share for use of the roads. Attended the Neighborhood Service Center, the Senior Prom fundraiser. Those people are so lovely. They're so nice and everything, so it was so enjoyable. The Christmas tree lighting, the Christmas boat parade, the Winter Wonderland, plus all the runoff canvassing and the final and everything of all of that. Affordable Housing Advisory Meeting, there was not a quorum, but we did discuss everything. And the Leadership Winter Haven Luncheon, I think the mayor was there with me also. We were both from leadership. I think you said you were 4? Leadership 4?
Leadership 7.
7. I was 17, so yeah. And now they're at 40-something?
Yeah, they're way up there.
Yeah, they're way ahead of us. I also attended the Strategies for Businesses Addressing Homelessness, and that was put on by the great leader of the mission, and he really has some good points. I wish we all could hear that because you kind of change your reference points. So I also did the Havendale Christmas Parade, and then the Winter Haven Christmas. I want to say congratulations to Reverend Dollison and your campaign. You did a terrific campaign. And I want to say Merry Christmas to everyone. Like Mayor Pro Tem said, we all remember the reason for the season, and I want to thank staff for all of what they have done, and I want to thank everyone, especially that staff that has to keep things running. There's people out there that you don't know that'll get called out because something is broke, and they have to, leave and go do that because it's an emergency. So since this is our last meeting of the year, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everyone too.
Commissioner Mercer, did you also want to offer up your recommendation on grant and aid so we can have an official vote on that this evening?
Okay, I'm trying to send the email to, I did send the phone number, but I don't have her email, so I will get the email so they can send her the application.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll bring that back for an official vote then? Is that the direction, or would the commission like to vote on that this evening for the...
We're not hearing what you're saying.
There's a grant and aid application for appointment to that committee for Melinda Calagridis. This is to replace the seat vacated by Alex Cam.
Oh, this is item 15A?
This is item 15A on your agenda.
Right, okay.
So if there's a motion to accept that appointment at the request of Commissioner Mercer and an affirmative vote to that, we will proceed with processing Mrs. Calagridis for appointment to the Grant and Aid Committee and do the background checks and everything to get her set up to perform the duties of that role.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Motion to approve the recommendation of Tracy Mercer of Melinda Calagridis.
Okay, thank you. I'll close City Commission meeting, open a public hearing. Anybody want to speak to this item, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing, reopen the City Commission meeting. Were you standing up there? Nope. Okay. That's Abdul. I thought I saw you standing up over there. Sorry.
Abdul is actually a member of that committee, so.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, I'll close the public hearing, reopen the City Commission meeting. Commissioners, any questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay, on to, I had 14 things. I'll be quick. First of all, I want to congratulate the staff for the Christmas party they threw here in this building a couple nights ago. And I've heard through the grapevine that Bethany had a lot to do with it, so please extend congrats to Bethany because I know she worked very hard.
The whole committee that makes that happen.
The whole committee?
Yep.
Okay, well, whoever the committee, bravo, because that was fun time and a lot of fun gifts that were given away too. So enjoyed the parade. We had lots of election meetings, Winter Haven Alumni Leadership Party at the Chamber of Commerce, like Tracy said. Went to a Silver Properties Christmas party at the Polk State meeting with Angela. We talked about some interesting stuff with the college and some synergies that we might be able to work with the city of Winter Haven. Boat parade was always fun. I did get to do something that was kind of fun. I went over Saturday and spent about 3 hours judging a debates. There was at Florida Southern College. Somehow they pulled me in and asked me to do it, and it was actually fun. These kids were so smart, and they were all high school kids, and they would pull out a topic, and they had to debate it, and I had to be one of the judges. I got to be one of the judges, and I was so impressed with their abilities to pull things out of the air and make perfect sense. So it's a professional debating society of some sort, but they get together and have these contests, and Mayor Mutz was over there. It was really a fun time, so I didn't know what to expect, but it was fun. Lighting of the tree, of course, was always fun. The holiday market, very crowded. Had lunch with Manny, who's, has the old distillery property. He and I had lunch, and we talked about some things that he's going to do out there, and if half of it comes true, I think we'll all be very happy with that property, with what ultimately happens out there. But we talked for 2 hours about great things about my vision out there, and he agreed. So he's going to be coming back with us and asking for some help for some things. Today, I signed the bond documents to borrow $26 million, so that's where the land's coming from to buy this real estate that Mayor Pro Tem Birdsong was talking about with our water. So that's a done deal. We now have the money because that closed today. Also went to the project missed groundbreaking, and Mayor Pro Tem is right. The building is so big you can't believe it. And then last but not least, congrats to Cliff Dollison, but we have to know, Cliff, you have to choose this day who you're going to serve. FSU or Florida. You got to make your choice right now. It's either Gators or the Noles. So you got to choose this day who you're going to serve. So who's it going to be? Gators or Noles?
Always go with the winner. Always go with the winner.
All right, I'm just teasing. He doesn't have to choose. We know he wants to be a Gator. All right. City Attorney, what you got?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Commission. Good evening, and certainly echo your comments on happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and reason for the season. I do have one item of business, as you see, 16A on the agenda, and it has to do with you had a discussion of this item at your meeting on December 6th with Drew Crawford, my law partner. It's the PFAS litigation and settlement agreements, and it's the legal services agreement as set forth in the fact sheet. I would anticipate that we would ask you as the City Commission to do four things that we've listed in the fact sheet: is approve the city's continued participation in the class settlements with 3M Company and against DuPont and its related entities to resolve claims of PFAS contamination or PFAS in public water systems, drinking water as filed in the U.S. District Court for the District of South Carolina, and authorize the city manager or his designee to complete and file such claims as are necessary for the city to receive whatever allocation of settlement proceeds it may get. We don't know what that's going to be at this point. Number two, authorize the city manager to approve the city joining any class action or multi-district litigation against any party alleged responsible for PFAS contamination of potable water, which has to do with the DuPont and 3M. Also wastewater, stormwater, soil, or other material, or for any other damage arising from any PFAS. There may be more coming down the pike. Three, authorize the city manager to approve the city's participation in any future proposed settlements with any other defendants with respect to the PFAS issues of any potable water, wastewater, stormwater, or soil that may involve the city, and to file such claims as are necessary for the city to receive whatever appropriate allocations of settlements, if any, that may flow. And finally, approve the proposed legal services agreement with the attorneys noted therein. Mr. Mayor, that's what I would ask for, a motion to approve that as I've articulated it for the record.
Okay, thank you, John. Commissioners, any questions or comments?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Move approval of all of that.
I like that. Just to prove it all. Okay, I will close the City Commission meeting and open the public hearing. Anybody want to talk about all that? Come on up. Seeing none, I'll close the City public hearing, reopen City Commission meeting. Commissioners, any questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion passes. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you very much.
Okay, City Manager.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Commissioners. Today represents the 365th day of my first year as your city manager, so thank you for a great year. I do want to share with you my fourth quarter report, just a couple highlights of things that occurred from October through December of 2023. Probably the most significant of those involves you directly, and that's the approval of the annual budget. As a reminder, our budget for fiscal year 23-24 is $260 million and had an unchanged millage rate of 6.59 mils. So I think that's a great accomplishment during that window for that approval. We also had selection of a new airport director. Alex Vaca had resigned from the city in May of 23 to take a position in the private sector. After a lengthy process and with the assistance of Hanson Aviation to provide some interim airport management services, we were able to select Mr. Troy Heidel to hit the ground running as our new airport director. He was with us this evening, and he is doing a fantastic job out there. The non-ad valorem revenue bond that the mayor mentioned, this falls within our category of responsible government, infrastructure, quality of life, environmental stewardship, and economic sustainability. That was anticipated to be a 5% interest rate. When we first started that process, it came in, when the consultants came in November, they thought they could get it around 4.5. The final interest rate on that was 3.6497%, which is outstanding. And I'll tell you that furthermore, both S&P and Fitch conducted surveillance reviews in the fall related to that new issuance. As a result of that, S&P maintained their current rating of AA with a stable outlook, which was we were elevated in May, so they maintained that even with the borrowing. Fitch maintained their AA minus rating, but upgraded their outlook from stable to positive. So I think that is significant and speaks to the work of the members of our finance team. State of the City address and the annual report were issued out in November of 2023, and on the November 9th, we gave that State of the City address. The mayor was part of that presentation. All the commissioners were in attendance. That annual report, thanks to the talents of Public Affairs and Communication Director Katrina Hill, has become a calling card for us and has been sent to countless partners and legislative delegates and others that help us achieve our mission. We've gotten great feedback on that from all that have received it. We executed our interlocal agreement with Polk County for the development of the Chain of Lakes Park Phase 2, which gives us 50 cents on the dollar for the construction of that project. In other words, the project that cost $20 million will be covered with $10 million from Polk County TDC. The mayor was also a key part, and that is his representation on the TDC, and that project is moving forward. The last one I'll mention is a significant accomplishment in this past quarter was the substantial completion of the Joyce Davis Park and the Sidewalk Cafe. That is under the leadership and direction of our Parks and Recreation and Culture Department, as well as Economic Opportunity and Community Investment. We are getting great feedback on those. We're excited to get that project completely finished out in early 2024 with the installation of the handrails and the implementation of the Sidewalk Cafe spaces by those businesses. Again, it's been a pleasure serving as your city manager for the past year, and look forward to all that lies ahead for us in 2024. Merry Christmas to everyone, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, and hope everyone has a joyful holiday season. The Commission will not meet again this month. We will be back in January, and then we will be following up with a trip to Tallahassee. We will bring to you a request at your first meeting in January, which is also when you will have your reorganization of the City Commission and your appointment to your liaison seats. At that point, we are going to ask that your agenda review meeting for the second City Commission meeting in January be considered on an alternate date, as the Commission will be traveling to Tallahassee for Polk County Day. But we will remind you of that in January. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Good report. Good first year. Deputy City Manager, you got anything?
I just wish everybody happy holidays. That's it. Have a good.
City Clerk, you got anything?
Yes, I just want to thank Mr. Al-Khatib and also our city manager for the kind remarks that you've given this evening. Also, I want to congratulate Commissioner Dollison. I look forward to working with you, and I know I speak on behalf of LaTanya as well. And last of all, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone.
Oh, and also there is a canvassing board meeting tomorrow at 11 o'clock to do the post-election audit of the randomly selected precinct. So that will be the canvassing board members, which is Commissioner Mercer, Commissioner Yates, Mayor Dantzler, and Mayor Pro Tem Birdsong.
It's at 11 at the center in Auburndale. Okay.
At the Supervisor's Operations Center.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow at 11. Okay. Emergency matters not received for the agenda. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.